Hey, everybody, this is Peter Cunha, your broker owner of Open Doors Realty here in Middletown, New Jersey. And I'm with my friend, Carly DeRosa, who is, I guess, the CEO of Lunar Digital Group. Is that correct?
Yes.
So sorry about that. So Carly, how did you get started with Lunar Digital Group? Tell us a little bit about it and, kind of what the greatness that comes out of your office.
So going back, I started this company about 5 years ago, full time. It really started, and it's not always a good thing, but it started essentially trying to work for other companies and figuring out where I wanted to be in my career, and getting job offers that just weren't there price wise, salary wise. And one day I was just so fed up of the runaround people were giving me that I was like, I already know what I want to do. So why don't I just do it for myself? And that's how the idea started. And that's how I started getting everything organized. And since then, full scale marketing agency, every service from graphic design, social media, website design, working with all the teams. So copywriters, developers, designers, photographers, anything you can think of. Not just local to New Jersey. We have clients in actually pretty much all over the map. We have clients in Colorado, Florida, Pennsylvania, New York, obviously local to Monmouth County, and then even farther out towards California.
So, I consider myself much newer than you. We've only been in business for a little over a year. What's your sweet spot, what do you like working on, or, just kind of what are the bigger projects that you're dealing with, or, kind of just a little bit of background.
What I like working on, and it's not just because they're bigger projects, but is websites. Websites are usually start to finish. We're building something that either doesn't exist, so we have full reign and we can kind of help the client with their like brand identity as they're figuring it out for themselves. It's also one and done, unless of course there's management, but getting websites out and building them and actually seeing like ideas come to life is that kind of pleasure spot. And then the other stuff we work on, which is more retainer stuff, would be like social media, calendars, managing accounts. Obviously business owners are busier than ever, so they don't have time to do it. And that's what we do.
Sure. And I know I've gone through this. I wish I would have met you, a year ago when we were really kind of starting this off. But, for a newbie like me or somebody that's just getting off the ground, I always say that we need you the most because we don't have kind of the infrastructure in place. How does that work? You and I had a call the other day, I think it was last week, and literally we just kind of talked about, okay, what are your ideas? I'm looking to launch into this kind of speaking kind of role or engagement. And, you were like, all right, so show me kind of what you want to do. So, kind of tell me how you help people like startups, more on the startup side, I guess.
Yeah, startups are fun, especially, and talking from someone that did it myself. Startup people and the CEOs and the people involved are filled with ideas and they'd want to just do it all at once, which is great. But at the same time, you cannot accomplish everything at once. So what's nice about when we come in is it's kind of like a brain dump. They just throw everything at the wall. And then we, like you said, take a step back and they're like, okay, so how are you going to get there? Like, what is the number one goal? Who are you actually trying to reach? And then we kind of peel back the layers with them. It's like the onion effect. We peel back the layers and actually get down to like the goals. Like, what can you accomplish now? What's more important? What are the order of priorities? And of course, they're not thinking of all of this because it's just, I'm opening a yoga studio. I want it up. I need a website and I need scheduling. Whereas they're not thinking about like, who is the clientele? Are you going to sell merchandise? Do you have a physical location? Is it online? Like all the stuff going on now. So it's fun for us because it's very collaborative and I pride myself in this, especially with the team. We're very transparent, not in the sense of like, oh, that's a horrible idea, but kind of taking ideas and taking it a step further. We had one client that was strictly working on warehouses, but the services they provide could also be for nursing homes. So we just asked the question, okay, why are you only working for Coca-Cola? Why don't you work for the 7,000 nursing homes that need the same thing? And now he's really going in and figuring out, like, I could build out my market. I could reach out to other people, which is nice for me because I'm like, there you go. We got it.
So I got to tell you that there's the blessing and the curse of what that is, right? Because, I challenge a lot of real estate agents, particularly the ones that aren't in high production, let's say. Do you know what your business model is? And you always kind of get that deer in the headlights look. And it's kind of like, what you were saying there, where it's like he was so laser focused on one thing, and you're like, why aren't you doing it? X can be cookie cutted in something else. Why aren't you doing that? Because, that's how this whole speaking engagement and how we kind of connected was my SEO guy goes, Pete, you're doing a lot of big things. It's not just real estate oriented. And I'm like, never really thought of it that way. Right. So, at the end of the day, we're trying to help people in whatever capacity we can. You did mention something. You mentioned your team. Do you want to go into a little bit about, how big is your team? Kind of what are they doing? Are they local or are they outsourced?
Right now, it's a mix. To take a step back, pre-COVID, we were working with Monmouth University because they have internship programs. So we were taking probably 6 interns a semester and or year, depending if they extended it, and really training them on like core marketing, operational stuff, obviously, the different methodologies, all that fun stuff that they might not be learning sitting in a classroom, but they're getting it in the field. Since then, being in person has kind of taken a new twist. So we're no longer in the office, which gave us the opportunity to expand. So I work with copywriters that I have one in Florida. I have one in Pennsylvania. We don't see each other, but we're working and communicating every day, obviously, with whatever project it is. So it's a very diverse team. It is smaller than it used to be, just for the sake of what we were bringing in, not even business-wise, but project-wise, project type-wise. We used to strictly focus more so, I'd say 60% on social media, retainer projects, whatever in recurring revenue was coming in, which needed copywriting, graphic design, actual management, tracking, engagement, like all the hands-on stuff. And then the rest was all like branding, logo, website projects. Probably in the last, it's actually September. So since January, we took a little bit of a pivot and flip-flopped it. So now we're focusing more on websites and the heavier projects, which are more long-term, not as many cooks in the kitchen needed. So we got to kind of make the team a little smaller. If other projects come up, I do still have the outsourced relationships that I can reach out to, but trying to streamline it right now just for the core team and everything we're bringing in, but not limited to that.
Sure. And I appreciate you taking time, because I think you and I kind of met more on the graphic design and a little bit on the website, and certainly on social media. And, that is a whole new world to me. Somebody was telling me I'm about 5 years behind. I don't know what an Instagram reel is. I know the name, but I don't know how to do one. So, it's kind of I'm a laughing stock at the same time, but we power through it. So we were talking before, you're kind of homegrown. So I always kind of do these things, are you a Wawa or a quick check person?
Wawa.
All day long.
Strictly because I had a stint in South Jersey. Quick check is not a thing down there.
All right. And what about pork roll versus Taylor ham?
Pork roll.
All right, fair enough. I'll say we represent that. So yeah, kind of tell us your background. I mean, you mentioned that you graduated from Monmouth, and what else do you want to mention? You have a dog. What's your dog's name?
My dog, his name is Cooper. He is a rescue pit bull. He's somewhere sleeping in the other room. He's great. It's a little bit of a people problem, but don't we all? Other background, I went to Monmouth. I actually double majored in marketing, like business management, and then graphic design. All my electives were like photography based. I had a lot of passions. I draw, I did photography, and that's kind of just like under the marketing bucket. I wore all the hats back then.
Right.
And then as it got closer to graduating, I realized like, okay, as much as we love all of these things, we are one person, we cannot do all of them. And we just started streamlining kind of where I wanted to go in my life. And the internship I had in college is actually the first job I had. So they hired me as a website designer. And then that turned into kind of like social media management, graphic design. So again, wearing multiple hats, but because of that, I got a sense of kind of like, not even strengths and weaknesses, but like what I actually enjoy in my day to day, and then what is a little more time consuming, and maybe we outsource to some people. So that's really, that was the start of understanding like what I wanted to do and what I was good at. And then after the other jobs that I had and interviews and trying to live that like Manhattan dream of being in marketing, I finally was just fed up, and I was like, we're not going to the city. We're not paying $800 for a ferry ticket for no salary. And we started just kind of burning the candle at both ends, but working on my business while I was working full time, and just pulling all the experience from different roles and different teams I worked with. And that's kind of what built this Lunar digital bubble.
I think that's great. How did you come up with the name?
So it's not as clever as it should be. So I, ever since I was a kid, have loved the moon. This like family stuff. My grandpa always took me to see the moon rise. We lived at the beach, so we could just walk to the boardwalk and watch the moon come out of the Hey, they lived there. I was just the child. But I always had this fascination with the moon, and just as I got older, it just meant more and more to me, whether it was the nostalgia or just like the thought of the moon in general. So when I was coming up with my business and kind of what the core values are, of course, the moon came to mind, and I was like, lunar something there. And there was other lunars that existed. So I was trying to figure out that like sweet spot. I didn't want to be like marketing company or like consultant. I didn't want anything like cheesy as much as that is. But then I came up with Lunar Digital Group. No one had it. I bought it the second I saw it. It sat for about 1.5 years until I actually got all my ducks in a row. And then once I worked a little backwards, which is against what I usually do for people, but I came up with a name and then I built around it. So like my tagline is your mission starts here, say hi, or your mission starts here, blank, 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 whatever.
Right.
Because of course, mission, moon, they go hand in hand, and that everything just stemmed from that. So it worked out well. But the reason it's lunar is because I had a weird obsession with the moon.
That's amazing. I always used to do this. I haven't done it in a while, but you're kind of motivated me to do it a little bit more. But I also used to live by the beach. That's my humble brag. And well, I would watch either the sunrise or the sunset, and it was always kind of a reflection of how small we are in the grip of like the totality of the galaxy and everything else.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, even cheesier. I have a moon tattoo for a different reason. It's not for the company, but I don't know if you know the saying where it says like, no matter where you are in the world, the moon is always the same size. And it's kind of what you're saying. Like you never think of it in your day to day, like how crazy that actually is. But
right. It's
yeah.
true though. It really, it's sometimes we need to be grounded, and it's just for me, it's really pretty symbolic. You look up in the sky and you can't really tell how big that is, but you just know that you're so much smaller. So it's I appreciate this lunar talk. It's not out of this world. It's good stuff. So I told you I was going to put you on the spot. What's the last concert you went to?
Oh, that's a good one. Simple Plan and Sum 41 at the Stone Pony.
Okay, the summer stage.
Summer stage. It was, I honestly, like 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
Probably the best concert I've been to in a while.
all right.
The one before that, which is probably cooler, but Greta Van Fleet.
Okay, and as somebody that I think knows music, I couldn't name one song from Greta Van Fleet. So yeah, if you want to sing a verse, go for it.
We're tone deaf. We we know marketing. We don't know.
That's great. That's great. No, I appreciate your time. Like, you did this, very short notice. So what's the best way for somebody to reach out to you other than call me direct?
Instagram, it's a direct line. I have it. My team has access to it, but Instagram, follow us on Instagram, DM us on Instagram. My email's listed, my website's listed, business phone number. It's all connected to the same device in all forms. So it all works, but Instagram is probably the most active.
All right. And it's Lunar Digital Group, right? Just so everybody has that. And like I said, if you guys, and where are you based out of? I know that you're moving. Where you currently said you're in Belmar, is that right?
I'm in Monmouth Beach right now.
Monmouth Beach, and you're moving to?
Oceanport.
God bless. First house?
First house.
Oh my God.
I'm
just
gonna go paint some walls after this.
No, and it's that's it's yours. That's so you get to do whatever you want with it. And you mentioned you were an artist, so unlike me where I have zero artistic ability, it's like make some suggestions and I'll say yay or nay. So
yeah. See, that's the other hobby. I watch way too much HGTV.
what's your favorite show?
Probably Chip and Joe. I love them. Yeah.
Right.
I just take screenshots of everything they're doing and then figure out if I can afford it.
Yeah, and I'm on the total other spectrum. I'm like, just tell me what I need to do. I look at so many houses. It's, I love it when somebody says, "Oh, let's go see a house on the Navasink River," and I'm like, "Yep, I'm going to take my phone and take lots of pictures of the backsplash and, come up with, creative ideas, whether it's, barn doors or anything like that." So. All right. Well, Carly, thank you so much. And we'll be in touch. And I know you and I are working on a project, so should be fun.
Yeah, I can't wait.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.